Good evening. Thank you for joining us here at KREM 2 News at 10. I'm Joshua Robinson, and one thing we're finding out with the state vaccine mandate is that every state agency is dealing with it differently. Some fire departments across the state are losing a handful of employees, while others are losing none. The city of Spokane is preparing to lose 38 firefighters, we have learned today, and claim the number is too high to accommodate the unvaccinated. But KREM 2's Amanda Rowley looked into solutions other departments are using statewide.
Monday could be the last day of work for dozens of firefighters in the city of Spokane. Spokesperson Brian Coddington explained to me on Tuesday the city cannot make accommodations like those in Spokane Valley due to the high volume of exemption requests. But I found another Washington city with a similar volume of requests, and it's not losing a single firefighter.
It turns out the city of Tacoma's fire department has a similar workforce to Spokane. Out of its 328 fire personnel who fall under the state's mandate, it has 58 who are approved for exemption. Spokane has 300 fire personnel with 38 who are exempt. Come Monday, Tacoma Fire Department will remain intact, and it can accommodate its firefighters beyond the options Spokane is offering. Exempt fire personnel will remain in their assigned positions. They'll receive daily health screenings, must practice social distancing, use PPE on all calls, and must wear a mask at all times. If the city of Tacoma does in fact have similar volume of requests as Spokane and can still accommodate its firefighters, why can't the city of Spokane do the same?
As we've looked at cost, as we've looked at availability and volume of testing, and all those different factors combined with the data that showed 25,000 hours lost already to the pandemic, just on quarantine alone, and another 2,300 hours or so lost to actual on-the-job contraction of COVID. All those things taken in totality made it that it was not the right decision to be able to accommodate on the job.
Does the city of Spokane have the resources to do as Tacoma or Spokane Valley has done to accommodate firefighters as far as funding?
We'd have to find $300,000 to $1 million annually to fund the PPE. Those are the projections. So those are things and choices you have to make. We have a very tight budget year.
It takes about 3.5 months for firefighters to complete training and begin working at a Spokane City fire station. The upcoming recruit school is not expected to start until January at the earliest. Coddington says while this could translate into some overtime, the city is not concerned.
Come Tuesday, Wednesday next week, 911 calls will still be answered. The Spokane Fire Department will be there. They will answer the call for help, and they will provide the service that's needed.
For most of Spokane's 38 exempt firefighters, their last shift will be Sunday into Monday morning. Now, according to Governor Inslee's proclamation, if you are still working or practicing health care at 12:01 a.m. on Tuesday, you are violating that mandate. Reporting in downtown Spokane, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Meanwhile, the state's vaccine mandate doesn't just apply to firefighters, it also applies to Washington Department of Corrections employees. According to DOC officials, as of last night, 91% of their employees have turned in their vaccination cards, and they're expecting more to be turned in today and over the next few days. About 3% of DOC employees are being accommodated or are on some type of protective leave that makes it difficult for them to be vaccinated at this time. The DOC secretary says as of this morning's briefing, about 500 employees may be separating, but that does remain to be seen.
The situation's fluid. People are still turning in cards. Some people are waiting to the last minute to turn those cards in. So we're hopeful with those numbers. I expect more to come in today, over the weekend, and Monday.
Now, with the possibility of losing employees, the Department of Corrections has been busy trying to figure out plans to minimize the potential impacts, including consolidating some of their units, especially since they have over 4,000 empty beds in their system. Two locations they are keeping an especially close eye on when it comes to the potential impacts is Clallam Bay and the Washington State Penitentiary. Meanwhile, help is on the way to Spokane hospitals. The Department of Defense will arrive at Providence this weekend to help with the growing number of COVID patients. Providence requested federal assistance through the Department of Health, and the team of healthcare providers with the DoD will include physicians, respiratory therapists, and nurses. Providence says they will have more information next week once the team is actively working in the hospitals. Meanwhile, a new COVID center also opened today in North Spokane. The COVID Care Center aims to provide some relief for local hospitals. The 22-bed COVID unit opened today at Avalon Care Center at North Point. It's called a COVID decompression unit. Hospitals can discharge COVID patients needing less acute care to this new center, and a federal medical team of nurses and certified nurses will help with staffing. This federal activation came after a request was submitted by Avalon Care Center and Spokane Emergency Management. 2 new COVID testing sites are opening in Spokane next Monday. The 2 sites will be at Spokane Falls and Spokane Community College. They'll be run by a Seattle-based company, Discovery Health, and will start as a drive-through only. Testing will be free with insurance, but if you don't have any, the Department of Health will pay for your test. You won't be able to get a test if you need one for travel. Instead, the site will be used for people who believe they are COVID positive or have been in close contact with someone who is. Again, those sites are opening next Monday, the 18th. And the request comes as more resources could be used in the fight against the coronavirus. An FDA panel has endorsed a booster of Johnson & Johnson's single-dose COVID vaccine today. J&J told the FDA that an extra dose could be taken as early as 2 months after people's first vaccination. The CDC is set to meet next week to provide guidance on both J&J's as well as Moderna's booster shots. All right, we saw snow earlier this week, and now we could be seeing 60-degree weather as we welcome in meteorologist Thomas Patrick joining us now outside. Thomas, looking forward to a great weekend of weather, right?
Same here. I mean, it is going to be phenomenal weather-wise. We really can't stress it enough, especially for tomorrow, as our temperatures will easily climb into the 60s. Another step in the right direction today. Got up to 55 as compared to 50 from yesterday. Compare that to 40 from 2 days ago. So we're in that upward trend, and even our overnight hours won't even be all that cold, and this is what's impressive. Clear skies and temperatures barely into the 30s. Usually we get clear skies in October. The bottom can fall out of these low temperatures, but we have a bit of a mild weather pattern and air mass overhead, so that's going to keep our temperatures at least manageable in the nighttime hours and plenty warm during the day. Lots of 60s, should be mid-60s both days for Saturday and Sunday, with plenty of sunshine for tomorrow. And that mild trend continues to be the theme for not just next week, but perhaps the rest of the month. So coming up, I'll show you how many days I still have in the 60s yet in our extended forecast.
We appreciate it, Thomas. I know a little bit of something for everybody this week, so the people looking forward to the 60s, here it's coming. Coming up tonight, it has been nearly 30 years since the 1991 firestorm in Spokane. When we come back, we'll recall the events of that historic day. And later in our newscast, how one Tacoma counselor is against the conversion therapy ban law. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
Now's the time to get a Ford built for you, by you. Pick your color, your wheels, and other available features specifically designed for your Ford. Want an F-150 with a 12-inch touchscreen, 400 horsepower in an Explorer, or a moonroof? You've got it. And now an additional $1,000 bonus cash on top of all public offers. See your dealer for a Ford built for you, by you. Build and order your own F-150 and get $1,000 bonus cash on top of all public offers. Only at your local Northwest Ford dealer.
Boost and Cricket charge more for unlimited 5G. Metro doesn't. Introducing the big 5G upgrade. Just $25 a month gets you unlimited 5G and a free 5G smartphone. That's half the price for one line of unlimited 5G smartphone data. Plus a free Samsung Galaxy 5G when you switch and trade in. All with the power of the T-Mobile 5G network. Rule your day with 5G. Only at Metro.
Right now, get what you really want. The coolest cars, the most powerful trucks, and the hottest SUVs. Get the max for your money during the Time to Buy event. 0 down, 0 interest, 0 payments till next year. 0 cost max lifetime warranty. And get this, $3,700 over KBB for your trade. Plus, get a $250 gas card with purchase. Right now, the Time to Buy event. For 7 days, only at Max Auto Sports on the corner of Lyons and Division.
It was a clear October day when 50-mile-an-hour winds tore through the Spokane area. We'd gone through 42 days without a drop of rain as winds knocked down power lines and spawned dozens of fires in and around Spokane. Every firefighting resource in the county was called into service that day, and it was called Firestorm 91. That day has stuck around with a lot of Spokane residents and firefighters, but without that day, we wouldn't have important firefighting policies that we have in place today. Our Nicole Hernandez caught up with a firefighter and a fire chief to talk about what that day was like.
There's one burning there.
Two memories of the same story.
I enjoy it.
A now battalion chief and a retired Spokane fire chief remembering.
It's a long time ago. I forgot a lot of stuff.
What happened 30 years ago.
The wind was blowing, and it was just one of those blustery days.
And that day with the high winds kicking up the dust, and it was really eerie around town.
Ken Capal's memory and Bobby Williams' memory.
Yeah, so a lot of different things that went on.
Coming to the same conclusion.
It was a couple days of craziness.
So it was a devastating day and a few days.
Over 80 fires were burning right here in our Spokane area, destroying 114 homes and killing 2 people. Capal was boots on the ground fighting the fire in the Ponderosa neighborhood.
The houses were burning on the blocks. We'd pick a house that we thought we could save, start flowing water on it.
Chief Williams on the back end, helping gather and send resources.
It was a very, very busy day.
The fires burned 35,000 acres of land.
That was a real wake-up call.
New policies coming out of the ashes.
After those big fires, the building codes change as well.
The State Mobilization Act for the state of Washington is now in place,
allowing crews from anywhere in the state to help on big fires.
A lot of good came out of that very, very tough day.
To protect from that happening again.
As the two memories fade, the lesson from Firestorm lives on.
That day, those winds gusted up to 62 miles per hour. As for the forecast this weekend, looking at some fantastic weather ahead of us. Some of us could get in the 70s, while most, near everybody, should at least be in the 60s. We got a great weekend forecast ahead of you. We'll also check in on when's our next chance for rain, all coming up next.